Who is the father? The family is in chaos. That peculiar birthmark is the same as the one he has. But could it be true? The delivery room was filled with joy until whispers began to spread in the ward about how the baby looks exactly like the husband's stepbrother. The child has the same birthmark. Is this the height of betrayal? Who is the real father? The air in the compound of Emeka and Adaobi was filled with joy, thick and sweet like the palm wine being passed around in calabash gourds. It was the naming ceremony of their son, Chiemeka, and the world for a moment felt perfect. The saint of Adaobi's mother-in-law's legendary jollof rice, smoky from the firewoods, mingled with the sharp, sweet aroma of fried plantain and the earthly perfume of pounded yam, hot and smoky, ready to be served. Adaobi sat on the ornate chair reserved for the new mother, feeling a profound sense of contentment settle in her bones. Chiemeka, her son, was nestled in her arms, his tiny face serene in sleep. He was the perfect blend of Emeka and Adaobi. Her nose, Emeka's determined chin, all represented on the face of the little baby. "Let Mama have a hold of her grandson," a voice boomed from the crowd. It was Mama Emeka, Adaobi's mother-in-law, a formidable woman whose approval was as coveted as it was rare. She swept towards Adaobi, her presence parting the crowd like a sheep through water. "Wa mama," meaning my beautiful child, she murmured, adjusting his little shawl. "He has the look of a leader, just like his father." The crowd murmured in agreement. Adaobi watched, her heart swelling with pride. This was everything she had ever dreamed of. Then the music seemed to falter. The joyful hum of conversations dipped. It happened when Chiemeka was in the arms of Kenechukwu, Emeka's stepbrother. Kene was all charm and easy smiles, a stark contrast to Emeka's more serious, grounded nature. He had a way with people, a roguish glint in his eyes that drew you in, and he had a birthmark, a distinctive coin-sized black patch on his cheek, a feature so unique that it was the first thing anyone noticed about him. Kene was bouncing Chiemeka gently, making him goggle with delight. "Look at you, little man. You're going to be a heartbreaker, eh? Just like your uncle." It was Mama Emeka who saw it first. Her eyes, sharp and discerning, narrowed. She walked over and took the baby from Kene, her movement suddenly stiff. She held Chiemeka up to the light, her smile completely gone. With a trembling finger, she pointed to his face. "What is this?" she asked, her voice a low, dangerous whisper that cut through the festive air. A hush fell over the guest. There, on Adaobi's son's right cheek, in the exact same spot as Kene's, was a small, perfectly round black birthmark. You know, sometimes DNA should actually be a necessity at birth to avoid unbearable pain down the road. But wait, can the woman be innocent sometimes? Just think, It was a coincidence, Adaobi told herself, her heart beginning to hammer against her ribs. A trick of the light, a smudge of dirt. But it wasn't. It was as clear and as permanent as the one on Kene's face. Emeka rushed to his mother's side. "Mama, what is it?" He looked at the baby, and Adaobi saw the confusion in his eyes morph into a dawning, sickening realization. He looked at Kene, who stood frozen, his charming smile wiped clean from his face, replaced by a look of sheer panic. Then His eyes found Adaobi's. Emeka's mother screamed, "This one no be my pikin Bonamo." "Adaobi?" he whispered, and the sound of her name on his lips was an accusation. She remembered the day Kene had helped her fix the generator. When he was done, Kene brought her a drink while Emeka was out on a business trip. How his hand has brushed her hair. Adaobi remembered his jokes that made her laugh when she was lonely, and how they both shared a drink, and the way his gaze sometimes lingered a second too long. Innocent moments, all of them. The week that followed was the longest of Adaobi's life. The joyous echoes of the party had been replaced by a silence so profound it felt like a physical presence in their home. Emeka and Adaobi moved around each other like strangers, sitting as if in a funeral, their conversations reduced to clipped, functional exchanges about the baby's needs. Mama Emeka became a permanent fixture in their home. She would arrive every morning under the guise of helping with the baby, but her true purpose was clear. She was a warden, and Adaobi was her prisoner. Blood is a powerful thing, oh, she would say, to no one in particular. It always reveals the truth, oh. A child cannot hide its father's face for long. The breaking point came a few days later. Adaobi walked into the living room to find Emeka and his mother in a heated, hushed conversation. When they saw her, they fell silent. Then, the next morning, Emeka told Adaobi they had to do a DNA. The clinic was cold and sterile, a reflection of how their marriage now felt. They drove home in complete silence, the small sealed plastic bags on the back seat containing the answer that would either vindicate Adaobi or destroy her completely. 2 harrowing weeks later, the result came out. The result? Kene was the father. Adaobi fell to the ground crying. Adaobi swore she never cheated on Emeka. She never had anything to do with Kene. Adaobi was driven out of their home by elders of the family. Then, 2 weeks later, Kene became gravely ill. He was becoming weaker by the day until the family called a pastor to pray for Kenechukwu. The pastor prayed and then said, "Nothing can change you until Kene confesses an evil he had done to a family member." In his confession, while crying bitterly, he said he was the first person who met Adaobi and that he loved her dearly. Then Emeka came along. Adaobi fell in love with Emeka. Kene said he was broken when Emeka and Adaobi got married. Then one day, when Emeka traveled, he got an opportunity to spike Adaobi's drink, and he had his way with her without her knowledge. A man's enemies shall be members of his own household. Matthew 10:36. How wicked can a brother be? Emeka went to Adaobi's home with family members to explain what had happened and begged her to return home. 2 weeks later, Adaobi returned home and reunited with Emeka.